Ladies and gentlemen, judiciary khatre mein hai, and ironically it is from those who do not forget to wave a copy of the Constitution at every given opportunity. This, viewers, is not a political statement. This is a fear being voiced by former Supreme Court judges, former High Court Chief Justices and senior jurists. 56 legal luminaries have concluded that the move to impeach Justice GR Swaminathan is nothing short of a brazen attempt to browbeat the judiciary. They say this isn't dissent or critique, but weaponization of the impeachment process to punish a judge, to intimidate him, just because he refuses to bend to toe a particular political line. In the political overreach, the judges see a pattern. They are reminding the nation of its darkest hour, the emergency. They cite the supersession of 3 senior-most judges of the Supreme Court and the sidelining of Justice H.R. Khanna after giving verdicts against the Indira Gandhi government to make their case. The crux of their open letter is this: political overreach has harmed the judiciary before, and India must not allow it to be repeated and repeat this mistake once again.
To use impeachment proceedings as a pressure tactics on the judges, and to pressurize not only one judge, but it is in fact a message to entire judiciary that if you do not fall in line, if you do not give judgments according to our wishes, this is to what extent we can go.
MPs are expecting the learned judge to function in the same manner as they do. If it doesn't function like that, this is what we have to do. This is nothing but hoodwinking and threatening, and it is very, very detrimental to the very concept of judiciary. It is unheard of.
What's scary, viewers, is that this my way or the highway pattern is not new, and it comes from one ideological ecosystem that looks to target any judge who won't toe their line, their thought process. We saw it happening with Chief Justice of India Ranjan Gogoi after the Ram Mandir verdict. We saw it playing out when Justice D.Y. Chandrachud invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi for a simple Ganesh Puja. And we see it now with Chief Justice Surya Kant. He was branded TRP hungry merely for questioning why India should roll out a red carpet for illegal immigrants. Basically, whenever a verdict displeases the ecosystem, the judge becomes the target. The reactions to today's letter by 56 jurists, just history repeating itself once again?
Judges should not be ideologically oriented. They should respect the Constitution of India. Mr. Amit Shah in the discussion also was telling about it that RSS, there is no ban in RSS men being the judges. The judge should uphold Constitution, not any ideological or ideological positions.
Not only we saying, entire country has seeing it and saying it. So there is you could see that there is things has been orchestrated slowly. There is a judgment. There is a tension, and there is a Home Minister making a statement, provocative statement, and now other BJP MPs are supporting this. So we could see the entire ecosystem is walking in a very orchestrated way.
हर संस्था का अपना अधिकार क्षेत्र है, वो उनका अधिकार क्षेत्र है, ये हमारा अधिकार क्षेत्र है. अभी आपने देखा impeachment motion पढ़िए, उसके अंदर सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है.
Today, the fires lit over the Deepam Row in Tamil Nadu have triggered a nationwide political blowback. The controversy even echoed in the Lok Sabha, where BJP Member of Parliament Anurag Thakur accused the DMK of reducing Hindus to second-class citizens in the state of Tamil Nadu, dismissing both Hindu sentiments and court verdicts with brazen contempt.
One state in India has become a symbol of anti-Sanatan dharma. Their ministers are making statements. Against Sanatan dharma. Hindus are lathi charged. Despite the court order, they are not allowed. To light the lancer.
Joining the DMK in its anti-Sanatan, anti-judge crusade are parties with zero stakes in Tamil Nadu. But the biggest shocker comes from Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena, a signatory to the impeachment move against Justice Justice Swaminathan, which has now fired another political missile through Samna. The editorial accuses the BJP of capturing the judiciary, claims judicial appointments are being manipulated. RSS BJP people placed in high courts and judges pressured from the top, eroding trust in the justice itself. Samna doesn't stop just there. It calls for the impeachment of 25% of India's judges, brands Justice Swaminathan a Hindutvavadi, labels courtrooms as communal, and paints the judiciary as RSS puppets. It even says the Deepam Row was a manufactured controversy pushed into the court to secure a friendly ruling and weaponize it for electoral polarization. So what explains this dramatic U-turn from a party that once took pride in the Ram Mandir movement? And isn't this the exact modus operandi that the 56 jurists are now warning about?
तो सिर्फ मुस्लिम वोटों को अपीस करने के लिए, उसको खुश करने के लिए उबाठा के सांसद ने और उबाठा ने एंटी हिंदू स्टैंड लिया है। दिया मंदिर में नहीं जलेगा तो क्या कब्रिस्तान में जलेगा? अब एक बार घोषणा कर दीजिए कि बाला साहब के हिंदुत्व से आपने नाता तोड़ दिया है, अब आप जिहादियों के साथ।
Now contrast this with what the BJP does. Courts have dealt the BJP some of its biggest setbacks, from striking down the electoral bond scheme to slamming bulldozer action. Yet the ruling party has never responded with defiance or impeachment threats. When faced with adverse verdicts, the BJP either appeals through the legal process or accepts the ruling. It doesn't really attack the judge or question the institutions or launch a political crusade against the judiciary. I'm talking facts. I'm putting out what is already in public domain. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the Motorola legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Defiance and intimidation, a pattern for the opposition, now for the judiciary? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight on the Newshour with me, Pradeep Bhandari, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Mr. Deepak Reddy, National Spokesperson of the Telugu Desam Party, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow at the IPCS, joining me in the studio tonight, Salim Dharnidaran, my friend, National Spokesperson of the DMK, normally very agitated with me, Ghansham Tiwari ji, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Sajid Sopariwala. He is going to join us in just a bit, Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray group. But my first question goes to Tehseen Poonawalla, more Congress than the Congress, as I always call him. And Tehseen Poonawalla, my question to you. Are you weaponizing the process of impeachment to try and intimidate judges? 56 judges have shown their apprehensions through an open letter, because you are an old master at this. You did it during the emergency, you're doing it today. Are you now trying to tell people, if you don't give verdicts that we like, then we are going to take an impeachment process into the parliament? Or even if the impeachment doesn't happen, badnaam to aapko itna kar denge that you have nowhere to hide your face. You're doing this to the Chief Election Commissioner, you have now turned to the judiciary, and you have made this the latest SOP of ruining people's reputations and careers only because they do not agree with your ideology.
No, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me. Good evening to all my fellow panelists, to the viewers of Times Now, and to you, ma'am. In fact, it is the opposition that is struggling and striving hard to save the judiciary and to save the constitution. In fact, they are using all constitutional methods to save the judiciary. Now let's look at this example, and I will take this debate forward where the BJP will have nowhere to look. Number one, a single judge bench overrules a two-judge bench. Amazing. Is this? Forget what the judgment was. I can humbly disagree with a judgment or agree with the judgment. The point is, can a lower bench disagree with what higher judges say? Number one. Number two, on top of that, The kind of judgment, it is not the judgment, it is the idea to help a political party set a narrative is what is being spoken about and looked at. But more importantly, chalo, India Alliance is bad, DMK is bad, Congress is bad, everybody is bad. D. Jayakumar ji, he is the organizing secretary of the I.N.D.I.A. They are in partnership and alliance with the BJP. They themselves are criticizing the BJP, saying only that the BJP wants to do rabid communal politics in the great state of Tamil Nadu, where till today, ma'am, in your so many years, you've not seen communal politics. Why is it everywhere, ma'am? The BJP sees there's a chance of growth. Any state in India, there is some Hindu-Muslim issue that comes up. Jab BJP ko बढ़ना है, हिंदू मुसलमान करना है. Apart from that, BJP can't grow, and there are various people working for it. Today, in fact, the Chief Justice of India was wondering the attacks on the judiciary. And let me talk about Nishikant Dubey ji. What Nishikant Dubey ji, a member of parliament, spoke about the ex-Chief Justice of India, that he creates riots in India. This kind of language, Nadda ji had to step in. Is this not pressure on the judiciary? This pressure on the judiciary is what
are you now openly accusing a judge to be in collusion with the BJP? Is that your charge now? Is this how you actually save the constitution? And may I also ask and raise the issue, Pradeep Bhandari, the fact that there was a peacekeeping community meeting and they have no objections on the Deepam. The issue at hand is the Deepam at the hillock where people believe it should be lit. The Dargah, the temple people have no problem. The court judgment says the petitioner can go with 10 people. The government does not allow them to go. And they instead bring the impeachment motion. If they hadn't raised the bar to the impeachment level, would this even be a national issue being debated today in Parliament, Pradeep Bhandari?
Well, Navika ji, Britishers have left this country, but the Congress party is following the British divide and rule policy, where for them secularism is only about appeasing one community and considering the Hindus as second-rate citizens. Tehseen Poonewala is not aware that in 1923 Privy Council judgment also speaks about the Deepam being lit at the Deepotsam. However, secular government since then has prevented it. I come to a fundamental question. It is not the job of the Congress party or the Bharatiya Janata party to interpret the constitution. It is the job of the judiciary to interpret the constitution, and whenever, whether it is a single judge bench or a double judge bench of the High Court, whenever it passes a judgment, it is the duty of the state government to implement it. It's not the duty of the state government not to implement it, and the law says that any judgment of the High Court is something which the state government has to implement it till the time a higher court, which is the Supreme Court, does not put a stay, and in this case the Supreme Court has not put a stay. But I'll come to a fundamental mindset of the Congress party. The mindset of the Congress party is dare the judiciary does anything which does not appease the Congress party. Recall the Congress leader who said to Justice H.S. Verma that how dare you had given a judgment on Rahul Gandhi. When the Congress will come to power, hum aapki jeep kaat denge. Recall what Priyanka Vadra has said. Is it the job of the Supreme Court to decide on whether my brother is a nationalist or not a nationalist? Recall what they had done in the case of Ayodhya when the judges had given a judgment. It was the likes of Kapil Sibal and others who tried to slander it. It is not once. Recall what had happened to Chief Justice of India Chandrachud when Ram Gopal Yadav from Samajwadi Party had used an abusive slur against the Chief Justice of India. And this is not just new. When Jawaharlal Nehru believed that only pliant judges should be appointed, because it was Jawaharlal Nehru who for the first time ever in the history of independent India appointed a sitting judge, which is Justice Fazal Ali, as the governor. That is what the precedent the Congress party had followed, which Indira Gandhi followed even in the case of emergency. Until date, the Nehru-Gandhi Vadra is continuing. Nehru-Gandhi Vadra family feels that if any judge passes a judgment which does not agree with their quote-unquote politics, they will slander the judge, they will discredit the judge, they will put pressure on the judge, and they will try to demean the judge. That is what their modus operandi and SOP has been, and for this only, Navika ji, they have been rejected time and again by the people of the country. Nobody needs the approval of a political party to decide the independence of the judiciary. That is what the Congress party needs to understand.
Well, just one line. Nobody needs the approval of a political party to decide the independence of the judiciary. But the independence of the judiciary by the BJP is decided when a Chief Justice is made governor of a state after a case involving the the national president comes to him and the case is dismissed. Another Chief Justice is made member of Parliament.
Again, fake news. No sitting judge has been ever given a judge. No sitting judge has been made a governor. Do not lie.
Arey Baba, after they retired, you all made
two.
My friend, hold your horses. Hold your horses.
No,
I can give you examples of congressmen who are later have later been appointed as judges. Now you better not stand and tell us the virtues of the Congress party. No, Tehseen people.
Time now. So can we go back to Doordarshan now? No,
oh, so you are saying aapka samay tha so you can do anything. But if we raise questions, you will only raise questions on the BJP. Come on, Tehseen Poonawalla. Let me get in Salim Dharnidharan. Salim Dharnidharan, you know, many charges have been made that every time there is an election, the BJP tries to polarize, do Hindu-Muslim. My friend, if I tell you the chronology of this entire issue, December 1st was the judgment. December 3rd, the devotees were allowed to go and light the lamp. They could have done it if there was adequate security provided. They would have lit the lamp over there. And only 10 people were going to light the lamp with the petitioner. There was no big hoo-lala about the whole affair. It would have happened, ended on the 4th of December. But what happened? The state government, the state police did not allow them to go. The CISF was appointed because the state government was not allowing. There were prohibitory orders that were applied in that area by the district collector. I want to ask you, if this matter had gone on after the court judgment, it would have ended. Who has raised the temper on this one? It is the DMK which started the signature gathering for impeachment. You made it big, sir. You made it big. You gave the BJP the opportunity to polarize. You cannot manage the law and order, and you will be labeled as anti-Sanatan when the peace committee of the Dargah does not have a problem. Only the problem lies with the government and the institutions that are supposed to maintain law and order.
Yeah, confusing two issues. Even the para 7 and para 40 of the judgment of the same justice is itself in contradiction. He says in 2005 there was a peace committee and they had no objection. And para 40 he says no, the Dargah committee is not happy and this communal disharmony will happen. So there's a contradiction in the verdict itself. But there's paucity of time. I'll only stick to the issue of impeachment right now. So the impeachment, as I'm saying, is not only based on this judgment. It has to do with chronology of event for the last 3 years. This judge has acted in a partisan manner, and no judge can act in a partisan manner. He cannot have personal ideological bias when delivering verdict. I'm not talking just about this verdict. The way he has behaved in the last 3 years, he's been hobnobbing with the BJP and RSS ideologues and talking ill about ideologies opposite to that of the BJP and RSS. The same justices, I can send you the video.
Rahul Gandhi was last seen hobnobbing with Mr. Gautam Adani, so what does that prove? You know, what is this hobnobbing business? Rahul Gandhi was at a dinner with Mr. Gautam Adani, so should we conclude?
Mr. Adani was a guest at
not relevant. Not relevant at all.
So,
not relevant.
Exactly. Who is meeting whom is not relevant at all. Why is that being brought up against the judge?
The point. I'll make the point. Let me speak. I will speak. If you give me time, I'll explain. 10 seconds, I'll explain. The point, if he goes and sits in any event, we have no problem. But continuously speaking the ideology of one political party and abhorring the ideology of other political party, sitting in the bench and saying non-Brahmins are not fit to be justice, these are the things shows that he is ideologically biased. Can a biased person...
let me get in. I'm coming to you, Pradeep Bhandari, but let me get in Mr. Deepak Reddy. Mr. Deepak Reddy, is the DMK having a problem because the man puts a trikund over here? He looks as if he is a Hindu, following Hindu culture and tradition. That is why they have a problem. Because the judgment has been upheld by the division bench. The Supreme Court also has seen the judgment but not given a stay on it. So prima facie, the judgment is fine according to the division bench, and so far The matter is pending in the Supreme Court, but there is no stay on the matter. How then does the opposition pick up this issue? Oh, he hobnobs with so and so, he goes and meets so and so. Are judgments of a judge to be seen whether they are sound in law, or are they influenced by photo ops, by, you know, what people, who is meeting whom, where they are sitting, which films they are watching? Does a judgment get actually judged on that basis?
Navika ji, I would like to point out two sides. One is the constitutional and the judiciary side. Another is the political and religious angle of the India ecosystem. I mean, it is clearly an attack on the judiciary. Once a judgment is given, there is a mechanism. You can defer it in other ways. But going this route is purely disrespecting the processes and threatening the judiciary. I mean, over 50 judges have already spoken about it, and they want to weaken our processes is something what I can say. Now coming to the political aspect, if 120 MPs have filed for it, do you think this is going to pass? But this is only a threat to bully the judiciary. This is what I can see. When a government is in power, it is their responsibility to be cautious when issues of sentiment of people are coming. But here in this case, India ecosystem consistently, they want to stoke the fires of divide, of religious divide. This is something I think which is really bad for the country, and they have been doing this for their political gain and nothing other than that. When the sentiments are involved, this is not the way how they should be going about. They should be sitting with the people and trying to resolve the issue. What happens if only 10 people go there and finish that? This issue would not have come. But it is a deliberate attempt by DMK to use this issue to get further divide to protect their vote bank. This is the typical agenda of the India ecosystem, which the people of India should again take note. And the 120 signatories are people who have done injustice. They have betrayed the trust of the larger population of our country, and you know, they should be remembered. This is what my opening comments are, Navik.
Well, let me get in Abhijit Iyer Mitra. And Abhijit, is this a pattern now? First, it began with Ambani Adani, talk so much against them that, you know, blow up their credibility, whether they're doing anything right or wrong, just destroy their reputation so that people in their mind begin to question them. Then comes the Election Commission, Chief Election Commissioner, the manner in which they abuse. Evidence zero, complaint zero, nothing in court gets proved. But you have abused the system so much that credibility question mark they want to put on. Now it is the turn of the judiciary. Is this now a pattern that is proven and evident that they want to go institution after institution, people who should be the people who should be respected in this country for creating wealth or managing institutions, now being blown to smithereens?
So, you know, the Congress has a long history of destroying institutions. They keep talking about, you know, oh, we created AIMS, we created ISRO. Well, they also imposed the emergency. Let's not forget that. They're also the ones who have, appointed all kinds of chief election commissioners with highly dubious records, all kinds of dubious presidents and vice presidents, again with highly dubious records. Now, you know, when you posit this question, Navika, did you notice how Tehseen manipulated the parameters? Criticism is not crossing the line of action. Criticism is speech. The Congress in the past has crossed the line. This is not the first time they're doing this. Justice Pardiwala, who is now a Supreme Court judge, he made some remarks when he was Gujarat High Court judge against reservation. Immediately in Rajya Sabha, 50 MPs signed the requisite bill to move impeachment against him, and he was forced to apologize. Understand, they crossed the line from speech into actual action. And if speech is the only thing we're going by, I just want to go by the number of tweets. Every time a judgment goes against them in the High Court or Supreme Court, they say, you know, oh, you know, justice has been murdered, murder of the Constitution, all their their aligned tweeters, they themselves will keep saying the constitution has been murdered, etc., all of this. Just a very simple question. They are talking about the political affiliations of this judge. Let me remind you, Mrs. Indira Gandhi and Mr. Namboodiripad appointed a minister, a communist minister of the second Namboodiripad government, a gentleman called Justice Krishna Iyer, as to the Supreme Court. They took a communist minister. This is when, Mrs. Gandhi was trying to get close to the Soviet Union and things like that. And they appointed a communist minister.
They've done a chief election commissioner as the Congress a minister as well, Manmohan Singh Gill.
So, look, the Congress has a long history of crossing the line. This is not the first time. Now, the question is, where do you go from here? Because right now, as I see it, there is sufficient grounds for the Supreme Court to haul up these Rajya Sabha MPs and other MPs for contempt. Because if you have imputed motive, what prevents the court from then calling you up for contempt?
Absolutely.
Ask them to come outside Parliament. Now understand, Parliament is sacrosanct. Ask them to come out Parliament and make the same allegations publicly.
Jyoti Mani, the member of parliament from the Congress party, openly saying that judges are giving these kind of statements because they want to polarize, because they are influenced by an ideology. Well, they want the whole world to be painted with the same brush. And Ghanshyam Tiwari, my question to you is, where will this stop? If a judge gives a judgment, you don't like it, you have redressal forums. You can either go from the High Court to the Supreme Court. If it is a lower court, you can go to the High Court. From a single judge, matters go to the division bench. From the Supreme Court, it can go to a constitutional bench. There are so many remedies available. Is impeachment the only remedy that you have, or is this just a threat and a blackmail? Okay, if you want to be a judge and you want to give verdicts against us, we will go after you, because you've done this in the past. Ranjan Gogoi, the Ayodhya Ram Mandir verdict, you went after him. D.Y. Chandrachud, one simple Ganesh Puja, despite the fact that he had several judgments against the BJP government, you went after him. You just go after anybody you think is giving a judgment that is against your ideology, your expectation, your ecosystem. Ghanshyam Tiwari.
Good evening, Navika ji, to you, my fellow co-panelists and the viewers. If one does a basic Google search and looks at the list of past 10 CJIs in India, starting with Justice B.R. Gawai, Sanjeev Khanna, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Uday Umesh Lalit, Justice Ramanna, Justice Arvind Bopade, Ranjan Gogoi, Justice Deepak Mishra, and Justice Kehar, and just looks at the kind of things this government has done to them. Justice Deepak Mishra, while he was still CJI, 4 Supreme Court judges came out and did an open press conference, a historic. It was a slap on the face of this government that fulfills its propaganda by all means. Shoe was thrown at the CJI not long ago. That was the previous CJI. And Nishikant Dubey, the Justice Sanjeev Khanna, the CJI 2 terms earlier. Nishikant Dubey said he wants to make people understand his judicial logic. Justice Kehar, the pressure that he felt was visible in the chambers that others spoke about. So if a government has put 10 CJIs under severe pressure, such that many of them have to come out openly, some of them like Ranjan Gogoi have to join this government, do they have any moral standing? And as far as Mr. Bhagwat says that Hindu khatre mein hai, in the last 10 years, सबसे ज़्यादा हिंदू कब खतरे में हुए? जब इन्होंने आसाम में NRC किया. How many Hindus were impacted by NRC in Assam?
नहीं, हिंदू खतरे में जब सनातन धर्म को गाली दी गई, आपने तो ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं किया कि किसी धर्म के बारे में ऐसा मत कहिए. Don't call it AIDS, don't call it dengue. When the entire seminar was held, a conference was held on saying that how Sanatan Dharma should be ended, it should be obliterated, तब तो कोई objection नहीं हुआ था ना घनश्याम तिवारी जी. And the 4 judges who came and spoke against Deepak Mishra, आपको बहुत याद है. One of those 4 judges gave a judgment on Ram Mandir. You started hating him the day he gave that judgment. Does that also not prove a point, Tehseen Poonawala?
I'll answer.
You asked me, allow me to answer. Listen, just 1 minute.
Sure,
Listen,
please.
just 1 minute.
I'll answer you.
100 crore people, voters of this country, are asked to prove their citizenship by an article in Constitution that does not exist. वो हिंदू खतरे में नहीं आता है. Every Hindu was asked to stand in line in demonetization. Hindu खतरे में नहीं आता है. The labor laws affect everybody who's poor. Largely they are Hindus coming from Dalits and OBC, EBC communities.
हिंदू तो छोड़ दीजिए, हिंदू खतरे में है या नहीं है? अब तो जज खतरे में है. जज खतरे में है सर, उस पर बता दीजिए ना. Ranjan Gogoi was your poster boy when he did a press conference against the then Chief Justice Deepak Mishra. But the day he became Chief Justice and started giving orders, which, you know, in his judgment was the right order to give, he became a problem child for you. You started denouncing him. You went after him. Why? Because he gave the Ram Mandir verdict. And let me ask you, Tehseen Poonawala, did all these 10 judges become Chief Justices because the BJP selected them? Or did they become because of their seniority following the process that is convention and traditionally followed across the judiciary? Please answer that question.
That question can only be answered with one thing, that everything that the opposition did is absolutely wrong. We'll accept it. Now please tell me, when a Justice Sathasivam becomes a governor, just because the Congress did something wrong, it's justified? Or one second, please allow me. You must allow me to speak. You must allow the viewers of Times out to hear. When I'm not criticizing Justice Gogoi's judgment, but a judge, after he retires, now becomes a member of parliament because the Congress did it. Justice Abhijit Gangopade, all his judgments are against the TMC. He becomes a member of parliament. No even cooling down period. Is this acceptable? I'm saying the Congress is bad, SP is bad, DMK is bad, we are all bad. You all were as in they were a party with a difference. What have they done? They continue to do the same thing. Now one last thing and I'll end. We have a Hindu president, Hindu vice president, a Hindu prime minister, a Hindu home minister, one of the most powerful home ministers in the world. After this, if Mohan Bhagwat ji still feels that Hindu bhai behan khatre mein hai, so Mohan Bhagwat ji should ask the prime minister and president and the home minister to resign. ये तो पहले नहीं था, ये तो आज हो गया. You know, आज अगर हमारे हिंदू भाई खतरे में, Pradeep Bhandari, absurd arguments, because there is no logical argument that Tehseen has. So please respond to him and to Ghanshyam. अरे logical कैसे नहीं, इतना अच्छा.
Well, I can understand that today Tehseen Poonawala is making very puerile arguments which he generally does not make, but I'll come to the fundamental point here, Navika ji. The fundamental point here is I'll expose the hypocrisy. Umar Khalid, who's a terror accused, a UAP accused, did not get bail from the last 2 years. What was the Congress party ecosystem doing? Challenging the judiciary, saying that the judiciary is bent, the judges have been bought over, and now the same Umar Khalid gets an interim bail just a day or two ago, and the entire ecosystem is silent on the same criticism. They want a pliant judiciary, and this is not what I am saying. Recall what James Manner in Nehru to 90s had said, and I'll quote, Indira Gandhi said that my party people used to come to me and say that make somebody the Chief Justice who will agree to us, who will be of our ideology. They had got the 38th Amendment where no decision of the government could have been challenged by the judiciary. This is what their precedent is. And on this Hindu khatre mein hai, when Sanatan is called dengue, malaria, AIDS by a sitting government in Tamil Nadu, when Mamata Banerjee threatens riots and says that when sitting minister of Mamata Banerjee government says कि भाई मुसलमानों को बहुसंख्यक हो जाना चाहिए, that is where the Hindus are खतरे में. बिल्कुल हिंदू खतरे में है बंगाल में, हिंदू खतरे में है तमिलनाडु में, क्योंकि जब कोर्ट कहता है कि हिंदुओं को वहां पे पूजा करने का अधिकार है, उसके बाद भी अगर सरकार नहीं पूजा करने का अधिकार देती है, इससे बड़ा तमाचा हमारे संविधान के ढांचे पे नहीं हो सकता. और उसके साथ में ये Gazawali member of parliament Priyanka Vadra goes ahead and signs an impeachment motion against the judge following the Constitution of India, tells you clearly that the opposition considers... Well,
despite all of this, I'm of the firm belief, and I don't know if Abhijit Iyer Mitra agrees with me, despite all of this, BJP has no future in Tamil Nadu. That is very evident to me. So, frankly, that BJP is doing this because elections are around the corner.
Mark my words, we will form a government in Tamil Nadu.
If you do, I'm happy to be corrected, because frankly, we live here to watch political change as a political analyst.
Can I do my Panotti predictions?
In a bit.
I predict that BJP will win huge 2/3 victories in Bengal and Tamil Nadu. In fact, mark my words, Navika, I will dance in the studio if BJP does not win 50,000 seats in Bengal and 230,000 seats in Tamil Nadu.
Will you dance on your accent? Will you dance on your accent?
You know, I'm happy to be proved wrong, Pradeep Bhandari. Suffice it to say, please prove us wrong. But Tamil Nadu mein no magic is going to happen suddenly despite this. But साजिद सोपारीवाला जी, आपकी पार्टी का यू टर्न तो इतना अच्छा लगा कि आप हैं कौन समझ में नहीं आता है. आप वही बाला साहब ठाकरे वाली शिवसेना है. Do you really belong to the same ideology? Hindu Hriday Samrat, who is now saying that judges should be impeached because they gave a verdict which is pro-Hindu and therefore their credentials are now questionable. You write editorials in Samna based on that. साजिद सोपारीवाला जी, ये कौन सी शिवसेना है? जरा प्लीज इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ प्लीज.
Definitely, thanks for giving me the opportunity, but I have a request, don't put my fader down when I'm talking, because quite a few times when I've tried to speak some sense, you have always put my fader down.
I'm not putting your fader down for the next 90 seconds. So. You have my assurance. Please go. Make your point.
First of all, from the start, I have been saying the same thing that Bala Saheb Thackeray, the Honorable Bala Saheb Thackeray, Hinduism was always to take all the religion together with justice, equality, and when you are fellow Indian, you have to be respected, irrespective of caste, creed, or religion. The democracy, the constitution is based on equality and justice. These are the two pillars of constitution, and if a judiciary or a judge making a if it is really insinuating or it is hinting that it is a pro-Hindutva judgment, what is the harm in speaking your sense? Because Bala Saheb always called a spade a spade. So if today Shivsena is not new, they are following Bala Saheb's footsteps. Bala Saheb's footsteps are that he has even helped a lot of people irrespective of them. I have got lots of examples. I have given you, we all know it, what Bala Saheb Thackeray has done for all the communities, Muslims included. We are very happy that Shiv Sena is definitely doing the right thing. We stand by our statements. We are not ashamed.
ये कुंभ के मेले में बिछड़ने वाली शिवसेना है. अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा, you know, I've given you 90 seconds now. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, your counter. Your counter.
Then you tell, he can counter me later on. Let me continue what I'm saying. Give me 30 seconds more.
Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
When we were with the BJP also, we used to call a spade a spade. We used to correct them also when they were wrong. Because this is the idea, this is the glamour, and this is the way and style.
Hindutva when you were with us. Today you are questioning quote unquote the pro-Hindutva judgment. That is how you have become Sonia Sena.
Today when we are in the opposition,
my dear friend, you said right now in your opening argument that it's a pro-Hindutva judgment. Right, that's what you said. So as a Bala Saheb Thackeray legacy party, you are questioning a quote-unquote pro-Hindutva judgment. This is where you have gone to. From Bala Saheb Thackeray's legacy, now you are following Sonia Gandhi's legacy.
You are not from Maharashtra. You got a foot down on Maharashtra because of Bala Saheb Thackeray.
Not because of you. Because of alliance with Bala Saheb Thackeray ji, and we always honor that. Not because of Sonia Sena. You are Sonia Sena. We got a foothold because of our organic partnership with Adharniya Bala Saheb Thackeray ji.
Bala Saheb Thackeray. You had come bowing down.
Not because of you. Can you say a statement? Can you speak one statement in favor of? Can you speak one statement in favor of Hindutva? Can you speak one statement in favor of Ram Mandir?
You backstabbed us. You backstabbed us.
Had Bala Saheb Thackeray been alive, he would have backed. He would have backed the judge, not gone along with Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra to sign that petition impeaching the judge.
I'm very proud of my leaders who speaking sense.
Yes, he would call a spade and would say what the Tamil Nadu government is doing is illegal, it is unconstitutional. That is what he would have said.
We don't have any problem. It should be correct.
My God.
That's what it is.
Who will decide that? The court will decide or you and me will decide.
Abhijit, are we seeing a situation? Are we seeing a situation where just about berating anybody who supports a certain ideology, even a film like Dhurandhar? You know, if it is on the right of center, let us slam the film. So what if people love it? You know, investors, wealth creators, election commissioners, even their children, if they are appointed somewhere, create a bua. I mean, what is going on? Absurdities?
It's not only that. We're in an age of hyper-partisanship, where even if you stay neutral, you are accused of being a coward and by silence supporting the powers that be. Understand what it is. It's basically an extortion business, where you want to deprive people of funds, you want to, cancel people or whatever, and accumulate power that you have lost at the election. Basically, that is it. You lose the election, you try to get the power back by other means. It is new territory for us because remember, the Congress always used to come back after 5 years in some form or the other. Maximum they lose power for 5 years and then they'd come back from the back door through outside support or something like that. They are facing the prospects of 15 years out of power. Can you imagine the kind of psychological trauma?
So are you just saying that they are in complete, disarray because they don't have any issue and they can only attract attention by creating such issues which are non-issues, blowing them out of proportion?
If you give me 10 seconds, can I just prove it? Okay. Tejashwi was talking about employment and things in Bihar. Immediately Rahul Gandhi came and started talking about vote chori. What was the Bihar election result?
Well, we know. Between the both of them, they have 31 seats.
31. Yeah. So Rahul ji, as much as I respect him, Jannayak Shri Vishnu Avatar, Kalki Avatar Shri Rahul ji, he has a great talent of snatching away defeat from the jaws of victory. He did it in Punjab also. They were going to win that state election on the back of the farmers' protests. Haryana, they made it all Jat issues, right? So Rahul Gandhi, I'm telling you even now, Narendra Modi ji wakes up in the morning and the first person he prays for is not for himself, not for the country. It is for Rahul Gandhi's long life, good health and continued presidency of the Indian National Congress.
Well, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists, ladies and gentlemen. We know that the Congress has perfected this art. Call names to Adani and Ambani only when they invest in BJP ruled states. When they come to Congress ruled states, everything is changa, everything is very, very good. Same thing when the election commission hands them out victories, they win on the same EVMs, the EVM is good, the voter list is good, the election commission is good. When the judiciary gives them judgments that suits them, raps the BJP on the knuckles, well, the Supreme Court, according to the Constitution, the courts have spoken, the highest court of the land has given its judgment. The minute the judges say anything that goes against their ideology and thought, against their expectation, well, question marks are raised on the judiciary. If this is not weaponizing procedures and processes in the temple of democracy, the Parliament of India, then what is? QED. Thank you very much to my panelists and thank you viewers for joining me on debate number 1.